Welcome, guys. Today on the Business Briefs podcast, we are going to be talking about throughput accounting. I'm here with Bo Lewis, who's had a lot of experience with this. You might call him an expert, I would, on this topic. So, Bo, what is throughput accounting?
At its most basic level, throughput accounting is a very simplified method to managerially look at your business. And the intention of throughput accounting is to increase profits, decrease stress, and engage and motivate the employees, all under the same umbrella. And it's super simple to do.
What does that mean?
Yeah, good question. So I got a degree at Utah State in accounting. And as I was going through school, I realized that most of the metrics and the things that they were teaching us were really hard to implement. Until one day on the factory floor, one of our employees had learned about throughput accounting from a book called The Goal, Eliyahu Goldratt wrote. And he walked in off the shop floor. He was a panel operator of ours, and he told me about throughput accounting. And my mind was blown because I had always been kind of over on the other side of the mountain looking at our business from this side. And all of a sudden he took me and put me on the other side of the valley. And I could see a river, and I could see all these different things about our business that I couldn't see before. And the cool thing about it was so easy to do. It was simple to implement.
Okay, so what is it, and how is it different than normal accounting?
Yeah, great question. So at the end of the day, it's really simple. Labor is very unpredictable, and therefore, and as a percentage, you can either be more effective or less effective. So, meaning, I've seen 40% production increases with the same labor. So in traditional accounting, that gets thrown on its head, and it's in an ineffective method. So very simply, it takes labor and it puts it down as an overhead expense, and you set your budget, and therefore now sells less material, gives you throughput, and you're looking at that number and measuring it instead because it's so easy to come across.
Okay, so in throughput accounting, Bo, how do you measure success?
Great question. Throughput accounting addresses the global metrics rather than the local level metrics. What we find as I've talked with customers...
Sorry, on a shop floor, what does that mean?
Exactly. So what I find when I go out on the shop floors usually is that companies are measuring the panel machine operator and the sanding guy differently, and they have a different metric of success, local metrics. And what throughput accounting does is it measures everybody as a collective team.
Oh, so you're measuring 1,000 panels here. Your capacity is 2,000 panels over here.
Right.
It's fruitless to measure them separately.
Well, what actually happened? It's not that it's fruitless, because I think as a zooming mechanism for that area, it's okay. But we've gone too far, and we've forgotten what the global goal of the company is, and that is that as a collective team, that product arrives at the end of the roll line. And so what has happened is that it's kind of like when you're pushing a rope into a system, right? Or if you're pushing or pulling a rope, we call it the rope concept. And I think it's really important because when we measure at the local level, that person's going to hurry and produce a whole bunch of parts, and they're going to push it down onto the next guy. The problem is, it's like he's pushing a rope, and now the guy has to take and uncoil that rope. So we're causing our own issues with our metrics because he has to spend more time, but his metric was measuring him at the local level to see how fast he can go. And so now he's caused the next guy's issue. So if you can take that local metric and not make it the focus and make the global metric important, it's unbelievable what starts to happen. Employees start to help each other, and new ideas and new ways are invented. We have to break down the silos.
So how do you do that? How do you begin to implement throughput accounting in an organization, in a woodworking organization, no less?
So it's very simple, and it's called the over-the-line chart. The over-the-line chart is very simply measuring sales less material, which we know that number. It's easy to find. You know it on the way in, and you're tracking sales less material equals throughput. Every day, as throughput is added to the completion, meaning the team has completed this amount of sales less material, it adds to the line. And then you're going above and above and above. Each day you're adding that throughput, until you get to your overhead break even, which includes labor. And at that point, you know that the remaining amount is net income. And it's unbelievable how very simple that one dashboard can measure a complete team, and it radically changes the behavior.
So how does it change? I mean, what do you actually do? I mean, when you have a chart, what do you do with that chart, and how does that translate into action on the shop floor?
Absolutely. So everybody, first and foremost, everybody needs transparency on the data, and giving them transparency on the data in real time, which with technology like it is now, it's completely possible and available. You can dashboard that in real time. Here's what happens. When everybody's measured globally together, even the sales guys start to get involved. Let me give you a quick example. If you have a sale of a cherry door versus an alder door, and a cherry door is a high sale price, but a high material cost, throughput's very low on that. It's very hard to make. You have to produce twice as much to make money. If you have an alder door, for example, where the sale is mediocre, because that's what the market allows for, but the cost of material is next to nothing, throughput's actually higher to produce the alder door. Now the salesman being judged on that, they'll actually start to change their behavior and sell more alder doors, because that's what's producing throughput and therefore profit. And it makes it easier on the shop floor. So as a team collectively being judged by the same thing, behavior radically changes.
So what are some results, real shop results you've seen? I mean, don't mention names, but people, what have they done with this? And how has it changed their organization?
So we changed this and saw a 40% production increase immediately. One, because people were no longer bowling into a curtain. The employees came to work and every day they had a dashboard. They understood. Can you imagine going bowling and bowling into a curtain and not even knowing how many pins you knocked down? And yet how many of our employees are going to work day in and day out bowling into a curtain? And then we as business owners try to figure out, why aren't these guys motivated? It's unbelievable, and it's so simple. And so that's what the over the line chart does. It's a very simple, you can see how many pins they've knocked down throughout the day, and they go home fulfilled, right?
Great. Well, thanks, Bo, for being with us today. Thanks for joining us. We hope this was of help. We're going to put the slide deck for this at allmoxy.com. Just go to our homepage and go to the bottom, and it'll be there for you. Reach out to us and let us know what questions you have and if you'd like to hear more on this topic.